Welcome to the Art of Money podcast with Art McPherson.
And this is the Art of Money podcast with Art McPherson and Luke McCarty, artofmoneyradio.com for more information on the McPherson Financial Group or to schedule that initial complimentary consultation. We appreciate you listening. Now, let's get to the show. Art McPherson, Coach Julie, traveling this weekend. Luke McCarty, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm filling the shoes here at the office, right, of Art and Julie.
Yeah, so with them, out of town this week and this weekend, are you kind of walking around just peacocking a little bit like this is my house?
No, not at all, because they will listen to the show, and not that at all. But, the first two letters of my last name are the first two letters on the building.
I'm just
McCarty McPherson.
So close. You're so
close.
Well, the good news is the lights are still on and everybody still showed up to work. So you're doing something right this weekend.
Yes,
Luke.
exactly.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because this weekend is National Bosses Day. And it's ironic that it falls on a Sunday where we celebrate bosses. But I know you and the team at the McPherson Finance Group, Art and everybody there, and Mark Bernard, your in-house CPA, work with a lot of small businesses. And in this volatile market, everybody wants to own their business. Everybody wants to be their own boss. There's over 32 million small businesses across the country. But it's tough. It's not easy. So during these volatile times, Luke McCarty, what are you hearing from the small business owners in the community?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, a lot of our small business owners, really worried about inflation, right? The cost of everything they are doing is going up. They have to raise their costs. And anytime you're kind of a small business, I call it like a mom and pop kind of shop, you kind of inherently feel bad about raising the prices of things you've been doing, for years. If you think about it from I own rental properties. Well, who's buying up rental properties now? Institutions, right? You have your BlackRocks, your big names buying rental properties because they don't care to raise the rent, right? They don't have feelings. They just do it. We have a lot of clients that own several rental properties and they're well below the rental rate because they have a heart, and so I think from that standpoint, they are potentially falling behind a little bit with this inflation, and it's really impacting them. Aside from the rental properties, if you just own any type of business, right? If you're a doctor, dentist, lawyer, things like that, you're seeing, potentially a little bit of squeeze on your net revenue just because of everything that's happening this year.
I saw we're a local restaurant here in town, and they'd put on the little white chalkboard out front. They usually put the daily specials, but it was basically explaining that, look, we're not raising our prices to try to make more money, and they were putting their food cost. Like flour used to cost us this much a pound, now it's costing us this much, explaining why everything's getting more expensive when you just want to come in and have a burger and a beer. Y'all offer some strategies for some small businesses.
Yeah, they're definitely feeling the crunch there. Some of our strategies for small businesses, Mark here is our CPA in-house. He looks at books, he looks at numbers, he can help give advice on some things, give some outside advice, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it this way, like if my wife and I owned a business and she told me something, I'd probably believe her a little bit, but if a CPA told me, I'd believe it more. And then she'd be right, and I would admit to it. But having that second opinion, even if it's not even investment related or estate planning related or financially, our business related, it's Mark's knowledge of the business and his knowledge of taxation and accounting. He can kind of help him look, say, hey, you really need somebody else to help you do your books, or you really need to look this path or that path. And I think that's more of a value add for businesses than just, investing their retirement plans and things like that.
Yeah. You're really lucky to have Mark Bernard, part of the team at the McPherson Financial Group, your in-house CPA, and Luke just mentioned it, that second opinion. There's nothing wrong with getting a second opinion. So if you're in that retirement red zone or you're a small business owner, give the team a call, 321-425-8550. One more time, 321-425-8550. All this information online, artofmoneyradio.com. And Luke, something else that I saw in the headlines this past week is that we've hit a new milestone with our economy, and it's not a good one. The national debt now $31 trillion. You remember when this was like a talking point during election? I mean, we've got midterms coming up in a couple of weeks. No one's talking about this.
I know, it's bad. If you look at the history of our debt, we've put on, $10 trillion in the last 5 years. It's huge. It's going faster and faster. And now that, the Fed's raising interest rates, they have to pay more on the debt, which is adding to more debt. And, there's things that have happened this year with our debt payments and how much, for example, an I-bond, right? If you go to treasurydirect.gov and you purchase an I-bond, it's paying you about 9%. So that is the United States Treasury paying you 9% to borrow your $10,000 for the year. Well, that's a great investment for us. It's about as guaranteed or secured as you can get. It's hard to use those terms in this business, but if the Fed or the Treasury goes down, nothing matters anyways. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely an issue hitting 31 trillion. It's been an issue since Bill Clinton, and it just seems to keep compounding. And, the end, I don't see it in sight, but it has to be either raising taxes and or stop spending, right? Cut spending or raise taxes, right? They're not going to stop spending. And so that's the issue we're at. And it is odd, even when you look at, a president like Trump, who claims to be, a super smart businessman. I say claims to be,
right?
But the smart businessman that, he says he is, he added trillions of dollars of debt. Mm-hmm. And so it just seems to be they're kicking the can down the road for our, I always say our kids and grandkids to deal with.
Yep. And it's funny. It's like you said, Clinton got everything under control. So you can't blame Democrats or Republicans for this increase in the national debt because it's on both sides right now. And eventually we're going to have to pay it off. And that's going to come, Luke, in the form of higher taxes.
It's going to come in the form of higher taxes. I believe one way that Clinton was able to, accomplish this was raising the taxation on Social Security. Mm-hmm. So Social Security was never supposed to be taxed, right? Then Reagan added up to 50% of Social Security could be taxed, and then Clinton up to 85%. So if we go down this path and we think of the last president to balance a budget, can we assume 100% of Social Security may be taxed in the future?
Probably, yeah.
Probably a good assumption. Now, that's not necessarily raising the tax rates. It's raising the income and, payments that you receive. It's raising the threshold or adding more to that bucket that can be taxed. Mm-hmm. I can see that sliding through in the next spending bill or the next budget, as they have the 1,000-page budget. That's a potential.
It's probably going to happen. Taxes will be going up. So what is your strategy? What does your plan look like? Give the team at the McPherson Financial Group a call. Let's put that plan together. 321-425-8550 to reach out to the team at the McPherson Financial Group. And there's been a lot of chatter, Luke, on the economy, with one expert saying that the market's going to drop 20%. Another talking head said the market could drop as much as 40%. Then there's strategist Brian Bileski, who told Fox Business that everyone just needs to calm down because, hey, when it comes to this down economy, we're almost out of the woods.
Do not talk about 2008. This is not 2008. This is nowhere near 2008. We think this is a garden variety type of correction that is, to some degrees, unprecedented with respect to what we're coming out of. But I do believe 2022 is the reset, and 2023, 2024 is going to be more of this return to normalization.
I'm taken back a little bit because he's actually kind of positive about the economy. But like we haven't heard that in months.
We have not heard that. So the news is not good at, predicting, of course, like none of us are, but it's not good at telling both sides of the story, right? A lot of what we're seeing either on TV or on the internet is kind of a clickbait, so, this expert's saying, hey, we're not going down, maybe not another 20% from here. Well, another 20% from here would mean we're down 45% for the year. That would be a big move. When we think about kind of what the Fed has done this year and what's happened to the economy, the Fed's raising interest rates, right, with a goal probably to get to 4 or 4.5% by the end of the year. And that's a big move from zero, right? So thinking that the Fed's going to continue and go through that is an outlier, in my opinion. So I don't think we go down another 20 or 30% from here, and we should be pretty close to the bottom of the market. But that being said, anything can happen, right? The Russia-Ukraine has a lot of escalation now. There's China, Taiwan. There's inflation numbers that can be talked about all the time with monthly reports of things that are coming out. So there's still a lot that can happen. But to go down another 30 or 40% from here with super high employment, right? Unemployment's at 3.5%. That is not very recessionary.
Mm-hmm. Well, then let me ask you this, Luke McCarty. What should we be doing right now to help protect our assets, especially if we're in that retirement red zone, that 5 years out from retirement, or, we're just newly retired? What should we be doing?
Yeah, so right now you really need a plan. As a certified financial planner, all of our clients here have a plan, and that plan has, different guardrails on different types of accounts, right? If you own individual stocks with a portion of your money, you need to be able to ride a wave, right? But not all of your money can go in tandem or in unison. Some things bad that are happening now with the financial markets are things are moving together, right? Stocks and bonds were down during COVID. Stocks and bonds are down today. So you can't have your traditional stock and bond portfolio because either they tend to be up together or down together. And of course, when they're both up, it's fine. But when they're both down, they're not doing historically what they have been doing, which is diversification.
You know, Luke, you said something. It's just the importance of having that plan. Now is the time to not sit on your hands. As Art has said many times before, don't be an ostrich. Don't stick your head in the sand and just take a wait-and-see approach. Just have that plan. And that initial consultation with Art McPherson, Luke McCarty, and the team at the McPherson Financial Group, no cost, no obligation to you. Let's put that plan together. 321-425-8550. One more time, 321-425-8550.
Thanks for listening. Want more from Art McPherson of McPherson Financial Group? Find us online at artofmoneyradio.com.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Securities offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through ProStatus Group, LLC. McPherson Financial Group and ProStatus Group, LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. Art McPherson is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Arthur McPherson. Florida Insurance License number A174. 725.
Today's show has been a work of art.